Over the last 5 years, mountain biking has been my one and only discipline on bikes. I've mostly always kept an open mind to other disciplines and even used to ride a little BMX way back in the day. However, I think it's time we branch out.
Yeah, that'll do it.
After all, this channel is all about adventure on bikes, and I can't think of a better way to find adventure than on a gravel bike. A bike dedicated to take you long distances, haul absurd amounts of gear, and still be pretty fast and light while doing it? Well, we're gonna do exactly that. We're gonna ignite that passion for gravel biking and build up something special. So here she is, my all-new all-city nature cross in Cyclone Popsicle. Quite honestly, the coolest color ever. Well, not exactly. We still gotta get this thing built up right. The previous owner had some parts on it that really just needed to go. We need to swap out these terrible bars into a drop bar setup, get on some new brakes, get rid of that seat that looks like it was designed for a beach cruiser, get those tires set up tubeless. Most importantly, this bike needs a full drivetrain, so we got to work. And by that I mean I did the bare minimum that I know how to do on a bike, and my friends over at Popsicle Bicycles really helped me make this dream build come true. No joke, I gave the crew over there an idea of how I wanted this bike to be built, and they made it happen. This would be so much easier with a bike stand. I cannot thank Popsicle Bicycles crew enough for helping build this thing up, and then continuing to support the channel as well. Because, as you might notice, I'd be a little lost without some knowledgeable professionals. Enough waiting, the bike was finally done and it was time to finally ride it. However, since I'm basically becoming a dirt roadie, I have to look the part. And yes, this is my first time using clipless pedals. So we set off on the maiden voyage, but this is where things really took a turn. Get ready for some story time.
All right, story time. So, this build behind me, this was my new all-city nature cross gravel bike in Cyclone Popsicle, which might be one of the best colorways to ever exist. I said was because this is technically not my bike. When I bought this bike, I bought it off a guy on good old Facebook Marketplace. And I thought, what could go wrong? This guy has it listed for a good price. It seemed like he knew what it was. He had it labeled correctly, had good pictures of it. And sure enough, that was good enough for me. I got there. He seemed somewhat knowledgeable about the bike, although he had thrown on some very suspicious parts that should never belong on a gravel bike. So I was like, okay, I'll just get rid of those. Don't worry about that. Fast forward down the road, I finished the build. A few months in, we have my dream bike built up. I say dream bike because I really do believe gravel bikes should have a lot of personality and character, or at least for myself, kind of reflect my own taste in things, whether that's just aesthetic or even functionality, mostly aesthetic in this case. So my dream build was complete. All that was left to do was ride it. And sure enough, my first ride was Baltimore Bike Party. And if you guys don't know what Baltimore Bike Party is, there will be a link to my Baltimore Bike Party video right here. Probably here. So go check that out. It's a fun event. About 1,000 people come out, ride bikes through Baltimore City, have a great time, and finish at an awesome after party afterwards. Just a great community event. So, Baltimore Bike Party. I show up. I'm excited to ride my All City for the first time ever. And I get there and I see another All City. And I'm like, oh, sweet. That's pretty much the same bike, different colorway. Go up to the guy. Hey, sweet All City. Good taste, you know? And sure enough, he looks at my bike and he immediately knows something that I don't know. And he tells me, he's like, hey, I had the same bike. He's like, when did you get yours? And immediately when he said that, my heart sank because I knew what was coming next, because I could tell in like his tone and everything. I could just tell what was coming next. Sure enough, he told me his bike was stolen just a few months ago when I had gotten my bike. So this is a stolen bike. This is no longer my bike technically. So I immediately told him, I was like, look, let's make this right. Obviously, if I was in your position, I would want the bike back as well. So I immediately put myself in his shoes. I realized he would want his bike back. So I gave him my contact information. He was really, really cool about it. So I really appreciate him being so generous about just, letting me hold on to the bike until we figure things out. Because obviously, he knows he didn't want me to be out of a bike either. It would kind of suck the amount of money and time I've put into this bike as well, just immediately being gone towards nothing. So he gets it. I appreciate that a lot. So we talked it over for a little bit. I figured I'm going to go ahead and return this bike to the original owner. That seems like just the most right thing to do. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get all the parts off this bike, all the parts that we put on, all the parts that Popsicle Bicycles put on as well. Really appreciate those guys for doing all this work. Sorry, it has to be all for loss. That's not going to be completely all for nothing. We're going to build up a new gravel bike, guys. We are going to still pursue this route of gravel riding and just have a means of getting out on bikes with a bunch of friends to get out to cool destinations and get out to cool events and things like that, where mountain biking may not be the best choice. It's still happening. It's still in the works. I want to make it happen. Let me know if you guys have any ideas, anything like that. I'm going to go get all the parts off this bike. I'm also in the process of trying to get my money back from the guy on Facebook Marketplace, so I'm not at a complete loss here. But we all know how that works. It's a stolen bike, so we'll do our best. What can we do, right? That's about it for this video, guys. I know it's not the gravel video I wanted to make, but it is the gravel video I had to make. So I appreciate you guys watching this one, as always. We didn't hop on the bike, and we're probably not going to be hopping on this bike. So thanks for coming along. I'll catch you guys when we're actually hopping on a bike. See you in the next one.
Alright guys, I want to throw this in real quick, but I just got back from the police station. I did go ahead and hand off the bike to the original owner. The reason I had to go to the police station was because I was technically the last person in possession of a stolen bike. So I wanted to do the handoff correctly, so I actually contacted the original owner. We set up a time to meet up at the police station. We did a correct handoff, everything like that. So that way I'm not the last person in charge of a stolen bike. So he's got his bike back now. I kept a lot of the parts that we put on the bike here, and that way we're gonna get a new bike. So yeah, it didn't actually put me in jail or anything like that, but I had some fun with the guys down at the police station with that. We're not in any trouble.